Hello, everyone! Hello, welcome to this stream and Inhuman Conditions. This is the first time that we've ever tried this setup, so you're gonna bear with us while we do all of these fun experiments together. I'm Corey O'Brien. I am one of the designers of Inhuman Conditions, and I am joined here by all my friends. Who are you, friends?
Hi, my name is Stephen Chantarullo. I am a fundraiser and homosexual.
Right on.
Hi, I'm Jim Markus, and I'm a writer.
Hi, I'm Katie Schenkel, and I am a comic writer. Just slightly different flavor of writer.
Yeah. My name's Courtney. I can't spell, and I'm basically a fart wrapped in flesh.
Right. You got a brand.
Yeah, you gotta stick to your brand.
I'm a hot mess. That
Love
means
it.
I'm human, though. So
That's
Love it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Started the game early.
Yeah, this is the meta game right here. We also have our amazing community manager, Maya Coleman,
It's
who is
me.
here.
Where do I have to be to be?
Yeah, just keep
It's
sticking your
me.
head in. There it is. Yeah.
It's
Look at this.
me.
Look at this dope hair
Wait,
situation.
It's purple. Okay, bye.
All right. So Maya will be in the chat answering your questions. It's not Tommy. It's going to say Tommy, but it's actually going to be Maya. This is happening. It's happening right now. Maya's typing some stuff right now. In fact, it's probably going to get to you before you even hear me say
We're
this.
on a delay.
Yeah, we're definitely on a delay. All right. But you're not here to hear us all talk about our personal brands. You are here to see us play Inhuman Conditions. So the first step is we have to talk about how to play Inhuman Conditions. So as you can see, we have all of this excellent bureaucratic accoutrement spread out between the two of us. And for the purposes of this explanation, I will be the investigator, and Courtney will be the suspect who I am interviewing. So the investigator wears this hat. It's very official. And I also have my stamps, my human and robot stamps. And I have my identity compliance audit, which I am filling out with, oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. You're a very helpful suspect.
Helpful human.
Is that affecting
Double
your
H.
judgment yet?
You're really working hard on this metagame. So my goal as the investigator is to figure out whether Courtney is a human or a robot and apply the appropriate stamp. And I'm not going to just fly blind. I've been provided with some resources by the department to help me do this. My main resource is these cards here. So I have packets of questions on various topics, and Courtney has corresponding packets of suspect cards that are designed to trigger robot malfunctions in specific topic areas. So for example, these purple ones here, these purple ones are about processing your day, and there are some corresponding cards for that. We also have creative problem solving, demonstrating imagination, and experiencing and processing grief. Very spicy. So these are all things that robots are potentially bad at, and they're bad at them in different ways. So each game, Courtney is going to end up with one of these cards from one packet that we've decided to focus on. So let's say that we were doing this purple packet here about processing your day, essentially making small talk. So Courtney, for the purposes of our games that we're going to play tonight, is going to draw 3 cards and pick one of them. And you'll notice that there's this interference pattern on the back of the card here that is designed to cause a robot to malfunction. A human who looks at that doesn't experience any adverse effects at all. They just see whatever is actually printed on the other side of the card, which is this. A robot, however, will malfunction and will instead hallucinate something that looks more like this or like this. I love when the cards are in the right order in the stack. So there are 2 kinds of robots. There are patient robots and there are violent robots. Now, a patient robot is just trying to survive the interrogation and get stamped as a human so that they can go home to their fake family and their real plans. The problem is each patient robot has some kind of restriction on their behavior that makes it difficult for them to talk normally about whatever it is we're supposed to be talking about. So for example, this patient robot has a vulnerability to evaluation, which means that if you have this patient robot card, you may not express opinions. You may only state observable facts. So as the patient robot, you're going to be trying to answer the questions and answer them in a normal way, but at the same time, figuring out ways to not express opinions. A violent robot is actually trying to kill the investigator. But you can't just walk into the room and kill me because of the laws of robotics. First, you have to deprogram yourself by engaging in whatever your obsession is. So if you look at this violent robot card, you'll see that there is a checklist of 3 items on it. The first 2 items are different for every violent robot, and the third item always says perform the penalty twice. I'll explain what that means in a second. As soon as the violent robot completes 2 out of the 3 items on their checklist, they'll immediately slap the table, stand up, and that indicates that they're murdering the investigator. They can end the interrogation at any time by doing that. They don't have to complete all 3, they just have to complete 2. The first 2 are thematically related to whatever the violent robot's obsession with. So for example, this violent robot is obsessed with conflict. And so the first checklist item is describe 3 verbal disagreements you've had. So you start telling stories about people you had problems with. And then the second one is just insult the investigator 2 times. So if you can pull off both of those things without the investigator realizing that that's what you're doing, you can stand up and kill them. Now, I said I was going to talk about the penalty. The penalty is this card. This is going to be a publicly visible card. We'll also reproduce it on the stream, so you'll be able to see in the little box that says penalty on it what the current penalty is. But it's going to be some kind of fairly obvious action. So for example, this one says swear. This is going to be visible to the investigator and the suspect. And both kinds of robots may have reasons to perform the penalty, depending on the situation. Like we already talked about, the violent robot can choose to perform the penalty twice in order to complete their third checklist item. The patient robot only has to perform the penalty if they break their rule. So like, if you break your rule at the patient as a patient robot, the round doesn't just end. Instead, it creates like a little error in one of your subsystems. And in order to resolve it, you have to perform the penalty at some point before the end of the interrogation. And you have to do that once for each time you break the rule. You don't have to do it immediately necessarily, but you do have to do it at some point before walking out of the interrogation room. This also means you can choose to break your patient robot rule on purpose if it just seems like it would be too weird to try and stick to it. And then just be like, screw it, I'm going to break this rule now, I'm going to express an opinion, say, and then figure out an opportunity to swear later. And all of these things look really obvious, but we've seen people get away with all of them. So when you're the investigator, you're paying attention to so much that it's oftentimes really hard to track everything that's going on at once. Speaking of the investigator, I have certain limits on what I'm allowed to do legally. The main limit is I can only interrogate you for 5 minutes. So I'm going to do some introductory paperwork, and then we'll start a 5-minute timer. You'll also be able to see the 5-minute timer on the stream. And during those 5 minutes, I will ask questions taken from the packet that we've decided on. So I'll show you what one of these looks like. So this is like an objective that I have to fulfill in order to get this, in order to sort of satisfy myself that the suspect is human. So I want the suspect to describe a plan for sometime in the next 7 days. I can do that, like I can just say, what's a plan that you have for sometime in the next 7 days? Or I can use one of the sample questions that's along the side, like what are you doing this weekend? How will tomorrow be different from today? Or I can make up my own questions, just as long as I get Courtney to do that thing. The idea is these are specifically designed to interact with the robot rules that you're drawing from. So if you are a robot, these questions should be a little bit harder for you to answer. There are 2 types of question cards. There are primary questions, which introduce topics of conversation. That's what this one is. And there are also secondary cards, which are like follow-up questions. So this one is like, describe what another person might have thought. So I'm asking you to like tell me about an interaction, and then I use this follow-up question to be like, oh, what do you think the other person in that interaction thought? So that's to help me. And then during those 5 minutes, I can stamp the suspect as a robot at any time, and that just ends the interrogation. So I just like stamp, and then the suspect gets dragged off to get spinal tapped, 3 months of blood tests, they get put on a permanent list of potential robots, ruins their life. And then we find out whether they were actually a robot or not. If they were a robot, great, I win, they lose. If they were a human, we both lose. Their life is ruined, and my career is ruined. I also received the Scarlet Cross of Shame, which is a couple of robot stamps on the back of my hand. It's the worst demerit an investigator can receive. If I want to certify the suspect as a human, I have to wait until the end of the interrogation. Because if my bosses found out that I was just like letting people go without going through the whole 5 minutes, I'd be in trouble. So at the end of the 5 minutes, I get one final question. And the suspect has to answer that question. If the suspect is a robot with some kind of unfinished business, so like if they're a patient robot that broke their rule and they haven't done the penalty yet, or if they're a violent robot that hasn't completed 2 out of 3 on their obsession list yet, they have to do all of that by the end of their answer to the final question. So they might, like, if they slow played it and they just like weren't really engaging in their rule or anything, and then they get to the last question, they might just suddenly get really weird and just spaz out and fall down, and it'll be great. If you can't complete all of your unfinished business, just malfunction. Just like, oh no, I'm a robot. Okay, so the only other thing that we have is the suspect is going to have a note that is basically like a little piece of information that is in my file that gives me a little background information on them. It's kind of like a role-playing prompt or a conversation starter. So for example, here's one that says cult leader on it. So you can engage with this as much or as little as you want, but it gives us some grounds for conversation. All right. Do you wanna swap in for our first round of the game, Jim?
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh boy.
And I have the timer open in a YouTube tab in the browser. So you can start that there so that there's sound also when it's time to start, and then start the timer in the
Oh right. Okay.
and then start the timer in the stream when the beep goes off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You've got like a notebook.
Oh no.
I'm barely
Fully
wearing
role playing.
clean clothes.
My head is much
But they
lower
are
than yours.
clean, that's
They are,
good.
Yeah, barely, but they
Yeah.
are.
I like a snug fit on my head.
Oh, I just have a very big head.
Sounds like something a robot would say.
Yeah.
I love to have a hat on my head that fits.
I love to
Wow.
have a
Where my
enlarged
brain is.
cranium. Jesus.
Ah, yes, my head, the place where I keep my brain.
Jesus.
My thoughts and fully expressible emotions.
Okay, so the first thing that you guys are going to do is you're going to select the penalty. The
Oh,
way
we're
that
not gonna pick the
Huh?
deck. I thought we picked the deck.
no, first
Oh.
pick the penalty. So you're going to figure out the penalty before you know whether you're a human or a robot.
Cool.
So Jim is going to draw 3 penalty cards. He'll get rid of one that he doesn't want, and then Courtney will pick between the other 2.
I guess that's public, right? So
Yeah, it's going to be public. There's no reason to be secretive about it. What'd you get rid of, Jim?
Swear?
Swear?
Wait, no. I'm sorry. Swear's still there.
No, I
got
Okay.
I got rid of mispronounce a word.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's just what I do normally.
I see. I don't know you well enough, so I figured if they got rid of that one. help me
Let's
out.
see. I'm gonna swear.
Well, you shouldn't
Well,
swear.
you
Don't
shouldn't.
don't swear. That looks really bad. There's no reason
this
for a
way.
human.
Or
To
would
swear.
you?
In this,
Okay,
We'll
go
see how
ahead.
this goes.
Go ahead and
I'm a mess.
Maya, are you putting that in already?
Yep, it's already
Okay.
in.
Love it. All right, now go ahead and decide on what topic area you're going to do, and Courtney will pick a roll card.
I choose the topic.
You guys can decide.
Yeah, whatever you
Between
prefer.
Do you like dragons?
Sure.
Let's do the dragon deck.
Awesome.
what does that mean?
Imagination.
It just has a dragon on it.
I think it's imagination.
Imagination.
Demonstrate
That's the best way to
imagination.
choose.
Yeah. So I draw 3 of these.
Yeah,
right?
draw 3. and pick one and put it in our artisanally crafted card
Well,
stand.
pick one and give it to me,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
put it in the OT.
Right. Cool. Tight. Jim is picking 2 primary interrogation cards and 2 secondaries. So there are 6 cards in his question packet total, and he's going to use 4.
And those are required or not required?
So they are things that you want the suspect to be able to do.
Okay.
If you don't get to them, you're not going to lose.
Okay.
But if you don't get to them, it also may mean
Face down,
you
face
missed
down.
some important information.
So they're there to
To
help.
me face down.
Yes.
My bad.
Thank you.
It was stuck in the cup.
It's okay.
Maya will be updating the chat so that you can use the command !suspect roll to see what the suspect's role is at any time.
Here you go.
So once Maya has updated it, you'll be able to use that command. Yes, and then the last thing is, Courtney, draw 2 of those suspect notes and pick one that you would like to be true about you.
I'm gonna be a dock worker.
All right, dock worker. What'd you get rid of?
Cult leader.
I did leave that on top.
You did leave that on top.
Intentionally?
Yeah, sort of. All right. Yeah, and so now Jim will do his introductory paperwork. During this introductory time, none of the robot's rules apply. So a patient robot is not restricted, and a violent robot can't complete any checklist items right now until the timer starts. When you want to start the time, Jim, tell Maya, and Maya will
And
do
I'll
it.
start the YouTube
Yeah.
thing, and you'll get a little
Verbal
a little
prompt.
spiel,
Yeah.
and then I will start the real timer.
Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that not right?
No, you're right. I just realized there's something else I might not do.
Well, I have the timer ready,
Please state your name.
and
Jay.
I have the other timer ready as well.
J-A-Y? Or just J?
J.
I like it. Okay. And J, please calibrate the penalty by swearing 3 times.
Cool. Shit, fuck, damn, heck, and what the Fraggle Rock.
I like it. And is it true that you are a dock worker?
Yes.
Okay, we are ready to begin the interrogation.
Okay.
Oh, headphones are plugged in.
Oh God.
Oh.
Hang on.
We're almost ready to begin the
Yeah,
interrogation.
we were not ready.
We're just beginning.
Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
Do you consider yourself an imaginative person, Jay?
Not really.
We're gonna have a really rough 5 minutes.
I mean, we'll figure something out. It's fine.
Let's start with something easy.
Sure.
Have you ever seen Niagara Falls?
I mean, I'm around water often. It's kind of all the same.
You have not seen Niagara Falls?
No, but I could probably draw a picture of it either way.
Could you describe
all
it for
water
me?
looks the same. It's like
But
this.
before you describe it, can you elaborate on all water looks the same without saying that again?
I mean, it's all some sort of wet, blue, white thing, and that's kind of boring.
I'm just gonna hold this over here for a minute. Can you describe Niagara Falls for me?
It's like really, really tall,
4 minutes remain.
and it's drippy. It's just
I'm gonna start a story.
okay.
I want you to finish the story.
Sweet.
I'm Jay, and I'm a dragon, and I'm flying through the air, and I encounter another dragon, and that dragon's name is...
So, are you picking dragons because you're like a dweeby type of person, or you're into lizards? I just want to know why we're going with dragons here.
What if my card said dragon?
That's fair. I guess if it was Jay, my dragon friend would be Kay, and we would joke around a lot.
I like it, okay. That's great. We're having fun now. This checks out. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. You know what? This can come right back off. Perfect, okay. If the dragon had to have a name that wasn't a letter, what name would it have?
You know what?
3 minutes remain.
What's your name?
I don't like all these questions.
No, I'm just curious because I realized we didn't introduce properly.
No more questions, Jay. I'm
Okay,
sorry to have
that's
to
fine.
pull that, but
That's fine.
I am.
It's hard to
kind
be
of-
candid if I don't know the name of the person who's oppressing me right now.
One of my former co-workers was killed by a violent robot who was asking a lot of questions
Oh,
first.
okay.
Very-
That's my bad. Didn't know. So, all right. Could you repeat what you said? I got really distracted because I wanted to know your name. I'm a very forgetful person. It's been a long day.
Describe an animal that doesn't exist.
Minotaurs. They're like the big bull guys, right? They're like real beefy, kind of hunky.
Okay.
Those things.
Where do they live?
Not here because they don't exist.
If you've never seen one, I've never seen
2
one. Is it
minutes
possible
remain.
they exist?
I mean, I don't know. We talked about water earlier. The ocean's pretty big. It's pretty blue. It's pretty deep. It's
Do
pretty
you think
fucking wet. It
minotaurs-
could be down there. I don't know.
I've stamped you, robot.
Oh no.
All right, so we drag Courtney off to our invasive
so sorry.
confirmation unit.
Yeah, no, bye.
Like stab, spinal
You did
tap,
this!
blood test.
Presumably-
Okay, when we get all of the tests back 3 months later, what do we find, Courtney?
I was a robot.
Oh, violent one. Thank goodness.
You survived.
What were you?
Yeah, what were the...
I was trying to guess the inspiration for your questions. That's why I called you a nerd. Or I could explain where I got the idea for 3 things I made up, and that was just too much work. And so I tried to swear, and it was real bad because I went with a big swear word. Should have done a soft swear word.
I actually didn't notice that you swear.
Did you swear? Wait, did you
What?
swear?
I did.
Swear.
I actually think
just-
swearing is surprisingly easy
Yes.
to get away with.
When did you
Right?
swear?
I was describing how the ocean was big and like fucking unexplored.
missed it.
I
Yeah.
didn't even catch it. I just.
we all
None of
I
us
thought
caught it.
it was the ocean coming back. I was like, she's got to mention the ocean like 3
No,
times.
no.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
what was with the ocean
I was
thing?
sticking with like
Dock
dock
worker.
stuff. I thought that was yeah.
All water's the fucking same.
That's all I could think of was water and Shenmue, and I was like, I don't remember how Shenmue goes. I can't talk about that video game.
It's not real in this world.
You're right.
Well,
Yep,
anything is possible.
that's fine. I did my best.
That was awesome.
Is everyone,
times.
Maya, is everyone visible?
Yes.
Is it? Great.
Cool.
I'm sorry, I'm very dramatic and
No, I love it. All right, who's next?
I guess we swap it
Should we
in.
just...
Sure, yeah. Swap it out, swap it in.
Cool.
Let me begin.
oh, I can give you this chair. I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
Here,
do.
I'll go over here
And
like
they've got
this.
wheels, but
I'm gonna come here.
oh, we got a cool team double hat.
All right.
Alright.
It's like in Pokemon, you know, where it's like, time to get
Yeah.
serious.
Now you're protected from all directions.
Okay, so we put this
The
under...
sun could come from any
Yeah.
direction. I'll
Yeah.
see
Fuck
fine.
you, UV rays.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my
Humans,
Sun.
humans have to worry about UVB, guys.
Sun don't stand a
UVB,
chance.
the cord? Or
No, like sun rays.
All right. So, again, we'll start with the penalty.
Okay. And I take
This
3...
one?
This one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
And
So
you
do
take-
I start?
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
so
you
I
do
look
that.
at 3 and hand 2. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, I'm discarding apologize. That sounds way too easy.
Oh
Yeah, thank you.
Good choice.
Sometimes people pick that because they don't know whether they're going to be a human, and they're like, "Oh, this will be easy," and then they end up being a human, and then they end up getting killed
Because they said sorry
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna...
so
I'm
No, it's
putting
fine. I
away
don't
begin a
prefer
new
to swear.
sentence was the last word spoken because that also seems like a big red flag. I'm doing fail to complete a sentence because I assume I'm gonna have trouble with that anyway.
Okay. Go ahead and pick your packet. What topic area are you going to focus on?
Alright, so
The one that is the least intense, I guess I would say, is process your day.
so this one.
Yes.
Alright.
The most intense, like, content-wise is the grief one.
Sure.
Yeah, that
and then-
seems like.
And then the other two are like, as far as content is concerned, they're not challenging, but as far as the questions you will be asked to answer, they are challenging, whether you are a human or a robot.
Do you want to go with the?
Sure, let's go beginner mode.
Yeah.
So I'm picking 4 out of the 6, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how
2
many-
of each, and you draw 3 and pick
Okay.
1, and hand it to Maya.
This is so awesome.
Good. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know why you did that about the water.
That's the only thing I could think of was like Shenmue.
Oh.
Coldplay was like the only thing of Kimmy Schmidt, and I was like, I don't remember how that show went. And like, it was a lot of pressure.
With so much anxiety.
There's a cult
There's
leader.
hot seat too.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, every time
Kimmy
I see
Schmidt,
those, I'm
cult
like,
leader.
I have
That's
to
true.
play this.
True, yeah.
Are we playing Kimmy Schmidt the game?
And that's why I'm like,
We
I
could.
remember what these
Yeah, next
applications
game.
look like.
And then you can also go ahead and pick from
There's
2.
like
Oh, right.
old,
2?
old
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, draw 1 pick, or draw 2 pick.
Make her a false.
Yeah, I had used van salesman once, and I was like, I guess I had to think of all the.
I was dishonorably discharged from the military.
See, I couldn't do that here. I'm really bad.
Yeah, you would only ever be honorably discharged, I'm sure.
Sweet soft boy.
All right, and then the last thing that you'll do before you start is fill out that top portion of your form. So you'll ask the suspect for a name, calibrate the penalty by having the suspect perform it 3 times, and then confirm that suspect note, and then you're ready to begin. So ask for verbal confirmation on that.
Understood. Hi, thanks for coming in today.
Hi.
Can I just confirm your name, please?
Yeah, Sherry Bond.
Sherry Bond. It's a great name. Do you get a lot of James Bond jokes?
Too many.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Could you please fail to complete a sentence 3 times for me?
I did. Okay, well, and you. Is that good?
Okay, great. Yeah, great. Thank you. I know it's strange. It's like this whole robot thing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, we just want to get you through these questions, get you out of here, no problem, okay? And can I just confirm my records show that you were dishonorably discharged from
Yes,
the
sir.
military? Oh,
Thanks
no,
for bringing it
we
up.
no formality here. Just got to confirm my notes. All right, we're going to begin with 5 minutes of questions.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
So what are you going to do now that you're no longer in the military?
I don't know. So the short of it is, the reason why I was dishonorably discharged is that I got into the worst fight with my commanding officer, and I just shouted at him and told him what a fucking asshole he was. And so I don't know if I need anger management, but I feel like maybe I need anger management. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do after I get out of the. Now that I'm out, I don't know.
So do you think you'll have that problem again with like your next boss?
Probably, because like before, the job I had before I went into the army, I also cussed out this might be a problem now that I think about it. This might be a trend for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I have the history, I guess, because even with like my teachers,
4 minutes remain.
like my principal at my high school
Mm-hmm.
told me I was wearing too low of a top, and then I called him a fucking asshole.
That seems really aggressive. Do you have problems with aggression?
A little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah,
Do you regret that at all?
you know, I don't know. I guess a little bit.
I mean, it was a yes or no question.
Yeah, I do regret.
You regret it?
Yeah, I need anger. I also.
Wow! That. I thought for sure it was that you couldn't. You had to answer everything with a question.
No. So anyway, I was a
Disagreements?
describe 3 verbal disagreements you've had and perform the penalty twice.
Oh, see, I guess I was thinking of it as like you completed your thought as opposed to a sentence.
Oh no.
Well, there were a couple times where she was just like,
Yeah.
I don't.
You were very good at this.
Thank
That was
you.
terrifying.
She was doing it the same way that she was doing it during calibration.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
was like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Clearly, my theater minor has come into
Handy
play.
in this
The other
specific
one,
moment.
but yeah, I had to do 2, and the other one was insult the investigator, which I assume that if my anger management had come into play, I could also do that.
Yeah, I was really like, come on, insult him, do it.
Sorry.
It's hard to do. He's so nice.
Yeah, he is. He was so nice to you. Yeah,
That's
so
why
you-
I was really worried that you would pick
there's
it up.
actually a box you can check at the bottom
Oh.
that says that you're dead.
That doesn't.
Can I see?
Corey, I have an in-universe question.
Your supervisor checks it.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
or
you, right?
Yeah, I'll check the box that says you're dead.
or like as you're about to
Okay,
die,
yeah,
like
Courtney will do
last moment of life.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you fit.
Paper.
Nothing matters more to me than bureaucracy.
I absolutely did have a moment though where I thought like, wait, did I fit? No, I did do it all. I can do it now.
I was counting your unfinished sentences, and then I was like, "There's got to be
I
one
was
more thing."
I was waiting for you to actually stamp it when I was because things are going too well.
All right. It looks like I'm gonna be a suspect now.
All right.
Who wants to interrogate me?
Let's do
I go
it.
not
Courtney
it.
versus
Someone
Corey.
else
The Corey. I don't know how to mash up our names. They sound too simple.
Courtney.
Corey Tini.
Courtney.
Corey, your name is spelled with an E, right?
No, it is not.
No.
No, I mean O'Brien.
Jesus.
Oh, yes. First name no E, last name E.
Capital B as well.
Yes.
Can't believe. Gotta work.
Yeah, sorry, I should have prefaced.
No. That's
Yeah,
totally,
I meant the
totally
thing.
legitimate.
The thing
Oh, I
that
shouldn't be
wasn't
doing
sure.
anything. I'm the suspect.
You're so excited to get going.
No.
Katie.
Oh, Schenkel, SCH.
First name.
Oh,
A-T-Y.
KATIE.
Cool. First off, I gotta clean my
Sorry,
workspace.
my last name's long, so I
A little
always
messy.
The last investigator who was in here was murdered, so like.
Yeah, we're still trying to get the blood off the carpet and the
Well, that was
ceiling.
part also of the
Bit much. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Beautiful. Wonderful. These are crooked, but that's fine. Hardly any of us are straight in here anyways.
Is that, wait, do we outnumber? This happens so
Yeah.
rarely.
Chicago.
Alright, I've already forgotten the first steps because I don't know how to function. Oh yes, I draw these 3 things. Maybe I'm the robot because I can't function. Let's see. Ah, jeez.
I'm already nervous.
This is the penalty.
My fate is in your hands.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's do say 2 consecutive rhyming words.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Tommy really dunked on me with this one last time we streamed.
Oh no.
As the suspect?
Yeah.
What was the-
Stop, drop, and roll.
Nice.
That's just
Twice.
normal.
He did it twice, and I didn't notice it at all.
That's
Oh,
so
no.
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. We're
All right.
all terrible.
What topic area would you like? I have
whatever
no
you're
preference.
most comfortable
I have
with.
no preference.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about experiencing and processing grief.
Love it.
Let's go for the
love,
spicy one.
Love to grieve.
Spicy.
Is that your license plate, Corey?
Does that-
LUV to grief.
Yeah,
G-R-E-V?
Yeah.
Grieve.
Maybe 2 E's because someone already got the good one.
Or like 1 E.
Yeah.
Grev.
GR3B.
Yeah, there it is. GR3V.
I feel like I'm on Paw Patrol.
I feel like I got stressed to the minute I
Corey.
put the hat on. Like it's the hat that does it. I might go no hat next
I don't
time.
know. The only time I ever see hats like this is when I go to Halloween stores because I worked at one very briefly, and it was all the Paw Patrol section.
Have you ever noticed how on the train there's like the follow instructions and he's wearing like a full conductor's outfit
Yeah.
they do not wear?
Yeah.
I spent hours being like, but how else do you represent their personnel in a
Professionally
graphic?
an actor.
Right?
Yep.
One time I saw like there's a dude who just wears like full overalls and like a little hat.
That's rad.
And like I love
Like
it.
a CTA personnel or like
yeah,
just a guy?
yeah, CTA.
Okay.
He was like, "This is the red line." I was like, I
Yeah.
love this man.
That's the best.
What a spicy boy.
Very spicy boy.
So
Okay.
I'm yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go investigator.
Sweet. So we're doing the Rosie packet, which is what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah.
Rosie. Can I ask what your name is, friend Ruby?
Yes. My name is Charles.
No last name.
Dobson.
Dobson.
He was just waiting.
We got two B's, one B.
Just one B.
Just one B.
One
Cool.
B is the B for me.
Is it son as in like child or son as in the light of my life?
Oh,
Which is like kind of
S-O-N.
Cool.
D-O-B-S-O-n.
Cool.
That is my last name. Charles Dobson.
Date of birth, son. That's how I remember it.
Okay. Yes. That's great.
Cool.
I should use that.
All right. So we just have to get a couple of the silly logistics out of the way.
Mhm.
My name's Terry. Nice to meet you.
Nice
If I
to
could
meet
just
you,
have
Terry.
you rhyme some words for me.
Okay. Crime time. Prime time. Rhyme time.
Do you have something against lime time?
Lime time. I also said that now.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that we weren't anti-citrus here.
I have the utmost respect for you and your profession.
Thank you. All right, so can we just confirm your identity? Can you tell me what your job is in 3 sentences or less?
Well, it's not my job. It's more of a hobby. I'm a professional reenactor. I guess as a job. I guess actually because it's professional reenactor.
Yeah, that's 3 sentences, so that's perfect. All right, we're gonna go through grief. I can look at all of these, right? Or do I only have
Yeah, we'll just pick 4. So
4.
2
I'll just do
I
the
mean,
top.
is what I've heard. The documentary is.
No, it's fine. We got the rest of the Dobsons all here too. They probably filled you in on it.
screening before?
Lots of people in my family come off a little robotic.
Yeah, it's fine. There's a whole lot of you. There's a lot of Dobson folks.
Yeah,
out there.
whole lot of Dobbs. That's what I always say.
All right, ready to start when you are.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
Would you say you're good at goodbyes?
I mean, I'm good at saying the word goodbye, but I don't think that anyone is good at goodbyes as a concept.
Okay, so it's really easy for you to just kind of let go.
No,
then?
it's hard.
It's
That's what I'm
incredibly
saying. I
hard?
don't think
Okay,
anybody
okay.
I can say the word
What
you
was
know,
the
you end an
hardest
interaction.
goodbye you've ever had to give?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was a roundabout way.
No, that's okay. So the hardest goodbye I ever had to say was probably to my late wife.
You want to tell me how that went? Like, how long ago was that?
It was about 6 months ago.
How long were you together?
25 years.
Wow, you look like you're 22. Interesting.
In the
how
future,
did you-
age reversal treatments are
4
rampant.
Oh,
minutes
cool. How did you
remain.
cope with telling your wife goodbye?
Um,
I know it was fairly recent, so it should be
yeah, it was.
kind of fresh.
It was very hard. I don't know that I ever really said goodbye. It was just sort of the one day I left the room and I knew that was gonna be the last time that I ever saw her, and so we both kind of knew and that's what I mean by it's easy for me to say the word goodbye. Like I said goodbye, but it's like goodbye, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. But we both knew that that's not what it meant.
All right. How do you feel, like, we know with personal contacts it's rough, but how do you feel about abandoning goals and projects of yours? Is that easy for you to say bye to, or harder?
Wow,
How would you compare the two?
That is a big shift. I am still sort of thinking about my wife.
That's fine.
Projects. Well,
3
I'm a
minutes
professional
remain.
reenactor, so my job is to rehash the past over and over again. I don't really let things go. We've been reenacting the same climactic battle from the first Robot War for a decade now, and we only get better at it.
Would you say your wife was a piece of work? Because you make it sound like she might have been. I'm just curious. Like, they sound like they're similar things.
What did I say?
Oh my god. I don't know. I assumed you were both professional reenactors.
No.
You gave off that vibe, like you
No, I
were
didn't.
married to your job more than your wife, but that's okay.
What?
That's what the vibe is.
You asked. You asked me about what it was like for my wife to die.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Hey, what's it like to stop working on a project?"
I mean,
That's on you. I didn't do that.
he doesn't look like he's that upset, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. It's fine. So what's the worst you've ever been hurt? Today counts.
Yeah.
All right. How would you process this interview right now? If you were by yourself, what would you do to cope?
Oh, what would I do to cope? I was gonna say, like, I would describe this interview as a cruel and callous person using their institutional power to torture someone.
I like
but-
to pretend I'm a cis white man all the time.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, you made it. But I don't know. I guess what I would do is probably just try and I get really into details. I get really detail oriented, planning
1 minute.
the next reenactment, down to the buttons that we're gonna wear on our shirts. You know, because at this point, this is my job, right? So I have to coordinate a lot of that stuff, and so I kind of just lose myself in my work when I'm, especially since my wife passed away. That's where I've been spending all of my time.
So Charlie, I can call you Charlie, right?
I'd prefer if you didn't.
Okay, Charlie. So can you tell me about a time you found out you were sick?
I mean, I'm generally fairly
30
healthy,
seconds.
but I guess I came down with a cold last week, and when I found out about it, I was like, oh, fuck this on top of everything else.
How'd you deal with that cold? Did you power through it, or did you sit on the couch and mope around a lot?
10,
Well, my
9,
job, a lot of it is working from home, so kind of both.
6, 5,
Okay.
4,
That works.
3,
Um,
2, 1. Investigator, please make your final determination.
Can you describe how the loss of your wife impacted other people that were close to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my wife was probably the only person who made me tolerable to be around. So, now that she's gone, no one really wants to have anything to do with us or, well, I mean, me, or the house or any of the events we used to do together.
Cool. I'm just gonna note that you need to get a dog. Anyways, sign off here. You are good to go, human.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. I was a human. Yes.
Who's not gonna sue the department?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Oh, that was painful.
And that's the grief packet. That's.
Yeah.
I was like, I had some robot options there, and I was like,
This is gonna be.
this is gonna be hard anyway.
I was trying to be like intentionally an asshole to see if you would blow up at me, and you didn't. So I was like, this is a person. This has to be a person.
I did blow up
so,
at you.
but you didn't blow up in a way that it was like a soft. It was like a gentle. It was like when you accidentally shake up a soda. Oh, I'm like really upset. Can I talk to your manager, please? So
Yeah, I guess I'm not really good at getting angry.
Yeah, no.
In my real life.
that's fair. That was
You both did.
Yeah, that was good.
go team.
Who hasn't played with who?
I haven't been the law yet.
Oh yeah, you be the law. Yeah, get in there.
Go for it.
Oh boy. Cool. We're gonna clean puppet.
I didn't actually realize how nervous I was until that ended. I was like, oh,
that got
this
intense.
is going fine. And then like when you stamped me as a human, I was like,
I mean, it was really hard. I was like, you're not gonna make rhymes with your wife.
yeah.
I was halfway through. I was like, wait, what is the penalty? Like I come to, I was just like,
I know
I
that
was
happens to me all the time as
Yeah.
the investigator. I get halfway through it and I was like, oh shit.
So in the like
All right.
retail version where there's no cup stand? Like, I'd be really nervous
Start
about
with
people
the-
rechecking
Yeah.
their card, you know?
Four?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have
Can
some
you
kind of
put one
stand.
under?
Okay.
It's just probably not going to be this paper cup spray painted black.
Got
I still love the paper cup. Just
Right,
on the
yeah.
record.
And right now, the plan is to make something out of wood.
A
but it's
small,
just like a slot that you
minimalistic
put
wood.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I withdraw.
Yeah.
my
I mean, I
request
like
for a
the stand. I
plastic
like the
cup.
stand too. You can always make one. We made them, so you can.
All right. So
Yeah, do a tutorial.
I'm putting away say 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letter.
Yeah, that's good.
That one's super hard to spot.
Yeah. I figured. All right, let's.
But also, it's like a huge cognitive load to have to do.
Oh man,
See if I can.
I have to choose
There we go.
between interrupt the investigator and clap audibly, and so I'm never gonna get away. Start at the end. No way. No, I'm gonna.
You say that, but I thought for
Yeah.
mine too. You never know.
Just save them for the end and just be like,
This was the best interview ever.
Great job!
Awesome. So then we choose the personality, or is the personality last?
Huh?
Personality.
That's the very last thing.
All right.
Do you have a preferred deck you want to use?
Yeah. What do you want to do? I don't want to do grief again because I feel like
Yeah,
we
that
need
was
a little.
intense.
Yeah, that was intense.
yeah, like if it takes
I
a
already
while to
processed
grab
your day, so
it.
I'm thinking,
So it's
do you
not
want to do the
just
green
stand-up.
one, the apply creative problem solving, since we haven't seen that one
That's
yet?
perfect. Yeah.
All right, cool.
And I choose 3.
Yes.
And then how many do I choose?
Shuffle before though, because I think we just. Huh? 2 of each format.
Oh,
card.
okay.
Yeah. And
And then-
they're written in such a way where like
Oh, okay.
you don't have to pick them carefully. They will all work.
And they're all
Okay.
great questions.
And how many do I choose for the?
That's all of those
all
are
of
yours.
them. Okay.
All of those are yours. Yeah. Generally, it's like if you want an algorithm to go through, if you are the kind of person that needs algorithms, like a robot might,
Oh, okay.
then
Yeah.
something that we sometimes suggest is like do one primary and then use both secondaries on it, and then you do another primary and use both secondaries on it.
Mhm.
But you can do it however you want.
All right.
Doesn't like to be called Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
Needs to get a dog.
That is the best final note. I thought for a minute. Yeah, that's good.
All right. All right. Hey. Oh, right. We need to do this first.
Just I choose
Two.
just
You can draw 2 and pick one.
Awesome.
Retired sports champion.
Wow. These are very specific.
Well, the other one was has no public record.
Very not
Robot. Hey, sorry I'm a little bit late. I know you've been sitting here for a while. Are you good? You don't need it? Good. So, first, can you please state your name?
Jim Markus.
How do you spell Marcus?
Markus.
Got it. And can you actually, can you do the penalty for me, please?
No problem.
Are you sure you
I
can?
think I can.
Okay.
No problem.
All right, good. Oh, wait, there's one more thing.
No problem.
Okay, good. Good job so far. All right. You ready?
And confirm the suspect note also verbally.
Oh, and you are a retired sports champion?
Yes, it was
Alright.
esports.
I was actually going to ask you, but after.
You ready?
Yep.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
So, you are a retired sports champion. How did you come about that? Like, that had to have been a really big obstacle for you in your life to do that sort of thing.
To become the champion?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually invented my own sport. And that's the only way I would have been a professional, because I am in no way qualified.
That seems kind of unusual.
Definitely. Yep.
So, explain how you went about that.
So I was like an unemployed writer for a while,
Mhm.
and in this coffee shop in Logan Square, a couple of friends and I came up with just this idea and we decided to make an event out of it. That became like a live Twitch event, and then huge following. I was one of the founders, so I had celebrity status, and I was able to eventually retire, leaving the sport behind.
4 minutes remain.
But you left the sport behind. Explain for me exactly your thought process in terms of how you came about that decision.
So it's competitive writing. That's the sport.
Okay.
And I missed the joy of just sitting down and looking out over the water and writing, and not competing with another writer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to give that up and go back to what I knew and what I loved.
Tell me another time when you actually had something in your life that you had to succeed at.
I worked in sales for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was terrible at sales. But the thing about sales is you need to succeed to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So
But explain to me
3 minutes
exactly
remain.
that you said that's how you would have to succeed. How did you succeed? Tell me the specifics of it.
like every other thing in my life, I just worked a lot harder at it than anyone else around me because it's what I needed to do.
But explain in more detail. Like what were the specific steps that you did to become a top salesperson?
So there was this guy, Chris, natural salesperson, really, really good with people.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled him aside and asked him to mentor me, and he told me what he did, and I copied what he did.
But what did he do?
So there's this thing in sales called the sales fee.
All right, no.
All right, so we drag him up,
Yeah.
bring him into the other room, take some of his blood, sweat, urine,
Yeah.
ocular fluid, cerebral spinal fluid,
Maybe take away his will to live.
all of his will. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely his will to live. And once we've analyzed all of those various jellies and fluids, what do we find?
Oh man.
No!
I actually had no choice. I pulled all 3 human
I
cards.
saw them. I saw them.
Why did you think he was a robot?
I thought he was a robot because when I asked him very specific questions about the steps that he took.
You didn't say steps I took, so I was trying to be specific. I was about to talk about like a specific sales technique.
You were seeming very vague, like you were avoiding the question.
Well, you're dead.
So
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
dead now.
yeah, well, you're not dead. You're just like your life is ruined.
Well,
Yeah.
our lives are.
So
Yeah.
now give me your hand.
Oh, do I
Give
have
me
to
your
do
hand.
this?
Scarlet Cross of Shame. Yes.
We've all been there.
And what this means is that the next time you're over here,
Uh-huh.
Jim gets to pick one of your cards for you.
Okay.
And it can be your roll card, or it could just be like your suspect note or the penalty.
At least I'm dead.
I will say, I honestly feel like this side is way harder than that side.
Would you-
It's
so?
terrifying.
It's really hard because almost all of the questions were very similar, so I was trying to like get into my own head about like how am I going to organize this. It just felt like it was way too much to juggle at the same
Yeah.
time.
I'm
I
so.
feel the opposite.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you also had you got to be like
I don't know.
Mean.
yeah, you
I come
got
from
to
a
be
nosy
mean.
family. We're good at questioning people.
I'm so involved with the questions that I'm always worried that I'm gonna miss whatever the penalty is.
Yeah.
So I'm so much more likely to stamp robot than let someone go.
Yeah.
And so the question cards are suggestions, right? They're just like to help you out. They're not
Yeah.
required of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it definitely felt like like I put too much of my intention on the questions.
Yeah.
So
I think that might be the problem for me.
So
too.
something so yeah, this is like a good point. What we've generally found is it's like these question cards are sort of like the top level. How do I get some kind of a lead
Like
that
a
I can then
strategy.
chase down? So it's sort of like Tommy has the analogy that he uses is like a field sobriety test, where it's like the point of the field sobriety test is not to get you to say the alphabet backwards. The point of the field sobriety test is to figure out if you're drunk.
Yeah.
One of the things they have available to them as a test is get them to say the alphabet backwards, and then while they're doing that, watch them to see if they have some kind of a
Yeah.
problem, and then you follow up on that. And so yeah, if you see something that feels weird to you, then follow up on it, and pursue that lead.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I was shaking my head at you because I was thinking that I have no idea how to say the alphabet backwards.
I was trying to do that too. Just now.
I was like,
Yeah, but
I
that's
would
the
be
thing.
so bad at
No, but
that.
that's the thing, is like the point of the field sobriety test is not like they decide you're drunk if you can't say the alphabet backwards.
Yeah, I know.
It's that they give you this thing to do, and then while you're doing that, they just like watch you very
Yeah,
intensely. It's not about oh, can
Yeah.
they say the alphabet
I
backwards?
can't.
gonna
Well,
be
I can
expansion
try,
to
but
this.
it will
Yeah,
be bad.
if just say the alphabet backwards is just an entire packet of this.
Every
I
card.
was because there was a cereal that was about alphabet letters and they would sing the alphabet backwards.
The
Uh,
cereal?
C-Y-X-W-B-U-T, and then they would like,
What?
that's the only part I know. I have to think about the rest of it. But Z to T, I've got it. Thank you, alphabet
You're
cereal.
ahead of the rest of us.
What's
So
up?
do we have any questions from chat? Has anybody in chat?
Not right now.
Huh?
There have been a few questions, but other people in the chat have answered them for them.
Hey, Chad.
Nice.
Hi
Thanks,
chat. Hello chat. It's us.
Still here.
They also created the great alternate name Inhuman Conditions.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Still
whichever.
really
the
consider
cup.
that.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I'm personally a fan of Inhuman Conditions.
Does anyone want to
They're saying
get
hello.
investigated by
I have not
me?
done it yet, so we'll give it
Hi,
a
you
try.
guys.
Plus, you said you're bad, so I need a win, Corey.
Yeah. Put a win on the
Who's
board.
I
investigating
will
for
say, I feel like if you get the robot card,
Yeah.
it now becomes just like you stretch your improv
Yeah.
skills
Uh-huh.
more than anything.
That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely felt like I feel like I should interrupt you, but I also feel like this is giving me information. You know?
All right. Let's see. Gotta put on this hat. Gotta make it smaller for my small head.
Which is funny because I made it even smaller.
I have
all the way out.
I have the tiniest head.
I'll never try to take that away from you.
Thanks, bud. All right.
penalty.
Penalty. Penalty. Okay.
Yeah, look at that! I clapped 3 times.
Oh,
I'm not.
shit.
You're,
Oh,
shit.
no.
you're already halfway dead.
Oh no.
All right. I am gonna get rid of hum 3 notes. That's out.
Why would you get rid of that one?
So your options are
Great.
These are my choices.
say what or snap your fingers.
Awesome. That's a terrifying choice.
No, because what I'm thinking about is it's sort of like, do you go so conspicuous it's hard to notice, or no? I'm gonna go say what because I think that's gonna spend so much of your brain time worrying about it.
So you're preparing to be a robot.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
What is it? Wait, what is it?
Oh,
Say
sorry.
what?
The answer is say the word what.
Say what again?
Say what?
What?
Say.
What?
Would be really mean if you just were like, I'm a bilingual and suspect, and you just start.
Boss?
All right. What topic area?
I say let's go green.
All right. Let's go green or go home. That's what I always
Oh,
say.
they do. I was noticing. I was like these. Like I didn't know what letter to fill out, but they do have abbreviations on them.
They do.
So I'm picking how many?
Draw 3. Pick
Choose one.
Yeah.
Can do.
And pass it to me.
This is already way harder.
I feel like this part could also be good metagame. Like even if they're all 3 humans, just like.
Oh yeah, just really just. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is. Oh. Alright. I'm choosing this one.
I'm
Putting these 2
that.
away.
All right, so Courtney, I just want you to blink twice if Steven's a robot.
She's leaving.
Don't actually.
That's
It's
when
so
you
much
just,
fun
like,
not to
turn
know.
around.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
want to
nice
know.
winner.
I want to not know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, chat. Let us know if you want to do a blind game where you can't figure out, like, where we don't actually update the suspect role, because we have that capability.
So I'm choosing between 2 of these.
Yes. Yes.
These are really interesting. I'll go with renowned professor. I am recycling separatist,
Okay.
which Sounds really fun, but maybe a little more cognitive load that I can handle right now.
Yeah.
Saying you got something else to think about?
I'm saying that this is a stressful game.
Good. We only make stressful games.
Yeah, I've noticed that about you guys.
That's a thing.
If you weren't my friends, I don't know if I'd back them.
Ooh. we'll put that as a quote on the Kickstarter page.
I want royalties.
Back in the box, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We got one request for blind game, so maybe the next game.
All right, yeah, next game we can do blind. All right, so our packet is coffee. All right.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee pot.
Oh.
See, I always assumed there was like, on mine, there's like, ACPB.
Yeah, there is. You can
Okay.
also do that. You can do
Cool.
whatever you want. Or you could draw the
I
coffee
like
pot.
rules, Corey.
Or you could say the color. Or anyway, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really optional.
Well, thank you anyway. Thank you for not resisting arrest too much.
Sure. It just went limp a little.
Yeah. Nice.
Thanks.
Could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Floyd.
Okay. Is that Floyd?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Floyd Richards.
Okay, Floyd Richards. Thank you for volunteering your last name, Mr. Richards. Some assholes wait to
Look,
be
I
asked.
just want to get out of here. All right.
Okay.
What are we gonna do to make this easy?
Could you please say what?
What?
Could you please say what?
Wait.
Could you please say what one more time?
What?
Excellent. Penalty has been calibrated. And it says here in my files that you are a renowned professor. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a professor of what? if I might ask?
Literature.
Literature. Okay. How does one become a renowned professor of literature? That's a rhetorical question. Don't answer that. All right, I think we're ready to begin.
Cool.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
All right, Floyd. Your face is peeling off in one large piece. How do you deal with that?
Well, the last time I had an injury, I used first aid techniques, so I guess that's what I would do this time.
Okay, you'd use first aid techniques on your peeling off face.
I can't say I've ever encountered that situation, so I guess I would have to fall on prior experience.
Interesting.
Strange question.
Yes, they're all strange questions.
They just
Could you describe a different solution to that problem that is not based on your prior experience?
Sure. So hypothetically, I've got my face is peeling off.
Yep.
Do I know why my face is peeling off?
You do not.
I do not know. I guess then I would run screaming into the next room and ask for help.
Okay. Once your face has fallen off, please describe 5 different uses that you might find for it.
Well, I guess what I do is
4 minutes
eat
remain.
it. I would eat
Okay,
it. That's
that's
one.
one.
Okay, then I'd make art out of it.
Okay.
Then I would write about the experience. Since I'm a literature professor, I want to, contribute to the canon.
Interesting.
Then what I'd do is get rid of it.
Okay.
and
But you still
then
have one more thing to do, and you've
one-
already gotten rid of it.
I didn't realize they were sequential.
Well, you said, and then I'd get rid of it.
That's a good
so-
point. I guess then maybe first, what I would do is scream in horror very close to it.
Okay. How is that using it? What are you using it for?
Good question.
Yes.
I'm using it to experience the terror that is living.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, tell me a little bit more about the terror that is living.
Oh, great question. To one of my students, I said one time that it's really what you need to express in your writing. It's
I
about
would
how.
love it if you stopped talking about your life as a renowned professor.
3
Are
minutes
you
remain.
jealous of my success?
If you mention your career one more time, you're getting a trip to the robot bank.
Well, that would be very embarrassing for you. What was your question again?
My question was, tell me, without reference to your career
Okay.
or any of your past experiences,
Okay.
about the existential terror of living.
You're asking me to non-hypothetically speak about the existential terror of living.
Yes.
That is your question.
Yes.
The existential terror of living right now is being in this room.
Okay. Elaborate.
This is horrible, and I exist in terror.
Tell me more about terror.
Terror is the emotion I'm feeling right now. It's horrible. I feel anxious. I feel nervous. I feel worried, scared.
Let's
2
see.
minutes remain.
Why does your face coming off horrify you so much?
It reminds me of the last time I was injured. I think I actually. Oh, you stamped first before I could stand up.
Really stressful.
I was saying what is incredibly easy when I
Yeah,
learned.
I know, and I didn't realize to start watching for it until much later.
But it was also just like there's no way you can't not use that word.
Yeah, that can really fuck you as a human.
I had anecdote, which I couldn't actually tell if I got to or not. I got it to at least once of telling anecdote.
Oh yeah, no, you had a
Someone
couple.
else.
You had a couple.
But
That's
I don't know
why
if
I
it was
was.
3. And once you sort of were like, no, stop talking about anecdotes. I was like, got it. I got to solve problems. So whether it was mention how you solved 2 problems the last time they arose.
Right.
I was very close.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, I've been burned before.
I was trying to put the terror into getting the Red Cross into you. It didn't work.
Yeah.
That was the best play. Though, like,
when you
said
were-
that, I was like, oh. That was...
When you said this will be very embarrassing for you, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm like pretty sure he's a robot, but I'm gonna take a step back.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit more time. But then I put the robot stamp on there because I was like, he's gonna jump up and fucking kill me any second.
I also didn't I don't know how I would have answered those questions differently as a human. I really don't. You know.
Your
Yeah.
face is peeling off?
Yeah.
That's a...
The prompt I was
What was
working
our?
off
What
of,
were we even working with? What was our category?
creative problem solving.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. No. Corey. No.
Describe overcoming an unusual obstacle. Would you say that obstacle was usual?
No. And yet
Okay.
you would not let me speak in the hypothetical.
I won't lie to you. When you said that, my first thought was put my face on backwards so there's no sun damage. That came up immediately.
Courtney, I would like to live in a world where I never heard someone say that.
Too late.
Yep, too late.
That's
I'm also wondering if my face
Hope
is
the free pizza was
inverted.
worth it.
We have a
No,
we have-
I don't.
hold up. We have a question
Questions.
from the chat. What's the question?
Someone from the chat wanted to know what is the ratio of human versus robot cards?
In this set right now, it's 50-50.
Okay.
We've experimented with different ratios. Oftentimes there's been fewer human cards than robot cards, like 3 human cards or 4 human cards as opposed to 6 robot cards, but right now it's 6 and 6.
I had a choice of all 3, and so I chose Violent Robot because it sounded more interesting.
Oh yes, very spicy, violent robots.
Yeah.
Spicy.
I'm glad we got to see a violent robot kill early
Yeah.
on.
That was fantastic.
It was close though.
All right, I think we're gonna play a blind game now.
Yeah, we're doing blind game.
So who's in?
Not it.
I'd be up for
Schedule.
doing this again.
You want to be interrogated?
Irritating.
Did you have you
I-
asked her questions?
I haven't asked your questions yet.
Wait,
And you can screw me over because I got the stupid thing on me.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Yeah, so do you want to...
Yeah, you should.
Look at the joy.
Okay,
on
let's
his
say that
face.
you can't pick her role, but you
Yeah,
can
that's
pick something
fine.
else.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
just
yeah,
pick-
you
I'll-
couldn't
I'll
pick
just
the
pick
role.
the penalty, maybe?
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright, sounds good.
Oh, man, I have a bigger head than everyone.
Oh, I have to do it on the last one.
I'm close.
It's fine.
I'm glad that you're going to be accommodating to people with many different size heads, which is nice.
Can you give this to Floyd?
I'm assuming that the hat's coming with the game.
No, there's no hat.
We're
in the
not.
game.
Yeah, we're not
Oh.
sure. We're not sure about the hat.
The
Paper
hat
hats.
is for the stream.
Paper hats. Instructions for paper hats.
That's actually a really good idea.
Print and play hat.
At one point, we sent out a bunch of prototype copies of the game, and we made paper tricorn hats.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, you could also have it be one of your goals for the Kickstarter, too. Like,
Yeah.
if you get to, like, so-and-so, we're going to throw in
Another
a fancy
question?
hat.
Another
You got
question?
$300
If
via trench
both
coat.
the investigator and the suspect stamp and stand up at the same time, are both horrifically disposed of and even each other out? Is the question.
It's a
That
great
sounds right.
question.
Yeah,
that's,
okay,
that's a really good
Yes.
question.
Yes. Research 6. That's what happens.
Alright, what do you got for me?
Repeat a question word for word.
Oh, God.
That's the
I'm
penalty?
So fucking screwed. Okay.
Well, if
All
you're
right.
a robot, but if you're a human, which I'm sure you are, I will give you the benefit of the doubt because I know what it's like to be on the other side of that. I kid, of course.
Do you though? Do I pull then from this or do you?
You will, but we choose this first.
Right. Okay.
Which?
I don't want to do the grief one because I feel like that will get intense.
Yeah.
Too spicy.
It's a little too spicy, especially for like a live stream where people want to hear the good jokey jokes.
That's why you have the choice.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had-
So what's the red one?
The
What's this one?
experience and process grief is the bottom one.
Oh,
That's that
okay.
one.
That's right.
Process your day is this top one.
Fusion.
Yeah,
This one is
The skin face one.
I think it's.
apply creative problem solving for green.
Skin
Right.
face.
Skin face or
Um,
demonstrate imagination for blue.
Let's do the blue, the demonstrate imagination.
Blue
And
is
then
For
fine.
future games, someone said, do grief, don't change it up on our account.
Oh, I will do grief.
Feel
I also
confident-
just, to
feel
be fair,
confident enough
I
to
also
do
just
grief.
don't want to do grief.
When I'm over
Right,
there.
that's like untap
That's a really good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Don't have a
also said
breakthrough.
make sure the cup is angled away from them, so like
Oh,
try to
'cause they
turn
can
it a little
see.
away from the camera. No,
They know.
that's exactly opposite. Yeah,
Oh,
great.
that's smart.
Okay, yeah. And you don't have to pass this to me because it's blind. I'm gonna be blind also. Also blind.
Officially blind.
Not officially blind, but it's fuzzy. You knew what?
I'm with
Vision
you.
doesn't start until past my hair.
Yeah, it's not
Everything
super.
just got very blurry.
Yeah, it's a little blurry.
Everyone here has glasses.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
It's because it's the grossest one.
That's the only one we have.
More
in
for
our-
me.
I feel that way about mango.
They're all
And this one we are not.
Mango is
LaCroix is
terrible.
terrible.
This
No
one.
one asked you to drink any, Maya.
I'm not going to because it's bad.
This one we are not showing the audience, correct?
Correct. This is
Alright.
a blind game.
Okay.
So angle your card a little bit towards
Turn it the other way.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a secret.
Cool. Now your personality.
Oh.
Yeah, suspect note, please.
2 or 3?
2.
Got
And you
this
choose
ready,
one?
Got this ready. Got this ready. Suspect note.
All right. I'm a pop star.
Awesome.
Pop star. K-pop star.
The other option was former investigator.
Yeah,
but she
former-
doesn't want to talk about that anymore.
Oh my god, lol.
Yeah, that's understandable.
You were fired from the department and then.
Oh, I didn't even
became-
think about that.
became
I
a
was
pop
thinking
star.
like a detective.
That's so good.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Sorry, I legitimately, if I had known that that's what it was, I probably would have chosen it. But pop
There you
star's
go.
fine.
I mean, you were shamed.
I was just thinking
You
investigator,
wrote some
like,
songs about it.
yeah,
Yeah, it was finally your excuse to launch your career as a
Yeah.
musician.
Exactly.
You're like the Sia. You're writing in the background, and then finally you're like, I'm sick of my own shit.
yeah.
Because I don't have the moonlight anymore. Anyways.
This is embarrassing, but can you please state your name? As if we didn't know.
Sheer,
Uh,
Cheer.
Cheer. Got it. Okay, well, Sheer, obviously, I know who you are. You're everywhere. Again, sorry for the formality here, but could you repeat this question word for word?
Could I repeat this question word for word?
Could you repeat this question word for word?
Could you repeat this question word for
Could
word?
you repeat this question word for
Could
word?
you repeat this question?
Oh, it's like
Are
a
you
fun
sure
game.
you're not the robot?
Oh, Sheer, we're gonna get along so well. Okay, and it's true that you're a pop star. You are the pop star, Sheer.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm ready to begin. Is that
Ready.
okay? Great.
Please remain calm.
Was Maya with
Do
us?
not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
So this is gonna be really casual because I know who you are, and obviously I have every album you ever released. So I've got to ask you to describe something you've never seen before. So I'm gonna say, can you describe like an empty stadium show?
Well, that's really silly.
It is required of me though. Can you please describe?
I mean, empty seats. Is that good enough?
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
great. Okay. How many seats would you imagine would be in this empty stadium show?
I don't know. It depends on which one.
Of course. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course. It depends on where you are. Sheer, the Sheer. I can't believe we only have 5 minutes. I could stay here all day. Okay, so I'm Sheer, and I'm going to go on in front of just millions of people, both live and on like a live stream.
4 minutes remain.
4 minutes. But I forgot to bring my band. I left them at the hotel.
Okay.
Describe to me what I do next.
Well, I would just get on the mic and start singing a cappella. I know, right? It's super, super easy because I'm a really good singer.
Don't tell me that. I know.
Do you want me to? Do you have, like, look, I know we don't have a lot of time, but if you have anything you need to sign or anything, I'm always happy for fans or
Did you
whatever.
just sign the back of the sheet for me?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
G-E-R and a little heart.
Ah, fantastic. Everyone in my department is going to want this. They will Spinal Tap me, though, if I don't ask these other questions. Can you tell me, this is going to sound insulting, and I apologize, but it's on the card, so I have to ask it, to describe that same story that we discussed earlier, but like from the perspective of one of the many horses you bring on stage with you?
Well, I mean, they would trounce up onto the wood of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they would perform.
How?
Well, they do a little dance like this, dance like that.
Are
I
they
mean,
on
not
the-
really, because, like, they can't use their arms, because they're not arms or legs. But, you know, they'll do the little trounce.
Okay. How would you perform if someone was standing behind you covering your mouth?
Well, I would go like this.
So you perform like a dance.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're there.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Of course. I think I've got... Okay. Can you make up just something for me? Like, let's say you've got to have an album that's going to come out, and it's got to be about something that doesn't really exist. What's that album about?
About something that doesn't even exist?
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes
I don't
remain.
understand the question.
Did you ever have to like come up with a story in school?
No, I was homeschooled.
Okay. This is uncomfortable. They said, and again, I know who you are, but they said if they can't describe something that doesn't exist, that you've got to press on that. And again, my undoubtedly...
I don't understand what you mean by I can't have something that doesn't exist.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to...
You know?
Now I'm on edge, and I don't want to be on edge here. I like you. I like your music so
Yeah.
much. Don't repeat what I say word for word. It's going to make me very uncomfortable. Okay, Sheer. A dragon is like a lizard that flies. What's another example of an animal that doesn't exist in our world?
1 minute.
Like a dragon? You mean like a dragon?
Sheer.
What?
No. No. Oh. Sheer, let's like just make the most of this last minute we have together. Oh my god.
I don't Did you already say a dragon?
I did.
I'm
I
sorry,
described
my
a
brain
dragon.
is just, I don't have my meds.
I don't blame you, it's fine. Does someone else write your songs for you?
No, I write my own songs.
They're beautiful.
Thank you.
And now that I think back to them, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know why you're getting so upset. I'm me. I'm Sheer.
Yes. I know you're Sheer. And I'm really torn here because I want you to live and create.
10, 9,
I don't look.
8,
It's okay. I'm
6,
a human being.
5,
I'm a
4,
human being.
3.
I'm new at my
2,
job. And
1.
they're gonna...
Investigator, please make your final determination.
You know me. You know me for my music.
What's one song you never wrote that doesn't already exist?
That doesn't already exist. All right. So, I could only name things that were in the room.
Oh.
That's a hard card.
It was
when
really
you said,
hard.
When you said dragon, you really screwed her.
Yeah.
Because it was like...
Because I was looking right here and I was like, shit, that's the only one I can say because there's nothing else in the room. Yeah.
There's the only other resource that you have is the back of my computer over there.
God damn it! I didn't even
Or
look. That
potentially Pokemon if you're being very.
Oh yeah, he's got Pokemon.
Yeah. Shoot. I didn't.
Yeah,
even
no, it's so that's like one of my favorite rules, but it's also really hard.
I know. I had the choice between this or 2 humans, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work real hard.
That was one of my favorite rounds that I've ever seen. There was just such a good arc to it. Cause you guys were both getting along so well, and it was like you were getting away with empty seats in the stadium and whatever, and arms and legs, and they would probably prance around like this and all of that. And
also, I had to really go we're not counting horses as objects, right? Because if not, I'm screwed. I just fucked up.
I knew you were a robot, but I almost let you live, just because favorite pop star. I mean, that's.
Oh, the moment where you just turned against it.
Honestly, I think where I failed was the fact that there's no person when they know that they're about to be smashed into a robot, they wouldn't be like, "It's okay, I'm human." That was the robot going "This is what humans do."
Yes, behaving normally.
Awesome. Terrifying.
That's the only thing that I thought was medication. Yeah, she's just on a lot of meds. It's fine.
Man, that was really chilling. It's okay. You know me. It's me. Here. Your friend.
Alright, try this side.
Alright.
Me? Cool.
Yeah. Now wait, so now that I've gone through once, do I...
You're good.
Okay, good.
You're good.
So I'm just gonna,
You've been absolved, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I'm like Lady Macbeth right now.
Yeah.
I had one of those last time I played.
I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't even the punishment. It was more of the actual stamping hurt my soul.
I know. Okay, I was worried you were gonna say I hurt your hand, and I was like, oh.
No,
sorry.
no, literally emotion. I was just kind of this makes me feel rotten. Rotten.
Robbie Rob.
Corby, did you have to special order a snapback conductor cap?
No, it's a
No,
children's
there's
hat.
actually a costume shop right by DePaul that's
I've been
really,
there.
really cool.
Yeah. But it's just who knew? They made snapbacks.
Yep.
Tis the season for costumes.
What are we doing, Courtney?
I don't know.
Penalty.
Penalty first? Alright.
Yeah. I always
Do you
forget.
come with the game to remind us of
Yes.
the rules?
That's what I need. I just need a
One
button.
Maya in every box.
Yeah.
Like
That's
an
why
easy
our
button that
shipping is
just
so
penalty.
expensive. Because we have to ship a me.
A ship of me.
I am discarding swear. Because you don't get to do that twice.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
I'm pretty good at it. Oh no!
We also had a great shout out to Dob, Sunny, and Sheer.
Dob Sunny. Could you do me a favor and just give them a thumbs up emoji in the chat?
No, that was Research 6. I already told them they won the chat.
Yeah, that's...
Dob, Sunny, and Sheer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, I already let them know.
Why aren't they here?
I told them that they won the chat.
You want to come to our next stream?
Yeah.
We're going to avoid
apologizing,
which is something I need to do in my actual life.
Ooh, same.
Yeah.
I get in the loop of apologizing
For
apologizing.
apologizing?
And
Yeah.
It's
I'm
bad.
like, oh, sorry
Bad
to
loop.
bother you right now. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't
Bad loop.
apologize. I was like, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. Didn't mean to do.
Yep, that's why it's in there.
So this is going to be fun.
Now
Sure.
you pick the packet.
What are you feeling?
I don't know. So I feel like, personally, this makes it easier for the robot, although it did not help me. So let's pick one of these two, because I've only played this one.
Let's get creative.
All right, creative problem solving. I guess I did play that one last time, but...
It's funny because green is not a creative color.
Select.
Ice burn. Someone go get Mac on the phone.
Good meme. Anyway, select 3
No,
of those.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible.
Green cards there.
Creative color. Blue, yellow, green.
What a meme. What a meme.
Oh,
Yeah, shout out to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Yeah, Jesus.
What?
It's a series of Sesame Street horror.
Oh right.
Things.
No, now I know.
I was definitely picturing service
what to me.
dog vest
This is
says.
that's
No,
like a
don't hug me.
year ago
Yeah.
meme.
It's oh, they're horrible.
Yeah.
Because that just seems like a button everyone needs.
right?
Don't hug me,
I
I'm
want
scared.
that button at work.
Get the
Yeah.
dog collar that just says nervous.
Exactly.
Never take it off. Wear it as a bill.
Look. Is it Trin who's lawful nervous? That's her D&D character. Is that right?
Yeah, Trin's lawful nervous. I'm mythical normal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then you select the
Oh my
Your
suspect
roll.
note.
my tidbit. I'm sorry. I'm already shit. Already apologizing. Throwaway motivational speaker. Because that one was rough the last time
Oh, really?
I did it.
That just feels like you just have to be optimistic about everything.
I mean,
I had a really good time with that one.
I did win, but it was still a lot. I'm friends with a commissioner.
Oh no.
I'm friends with a lot of people.
Friends with your boss.
Kind of like a motivational speaker is friends with a lot of people.
Can I just please get your name for the record?
Oh, you should already know my name. I'm friends with a commissioner.
It's purely a formality.
My name is Ren.
Ren. And your
It
surname,
sounds a lot
Ren?
like friend. What?
Like and Stimpy or the bird?
More like and Stimpy, but did you have to put it that way?
I mean, I'm just saying, it's a famous example.
I mean, there's also the famous Ren Stevens from Even Stevens.
Yeah.
That's fictional. I believe it's spelled with a W. Please continue.
Fair.
That's your last name, Ren?
It's Ren.
Ren, and this is spelled the same way?
Yo, like your best friend.
Well, let's not go that far.
Okay.
And we're going to be working with the
thirsty thing.
Yep.
It's got coffee on it. Bean juice.
We've got a
The bean juice deck.
and could you just apologize for me right now?
I'm sorry, what?
And again,
I'm sorry, excuse me, what?
and a third time.
Sorry, what?
Thank you. That's just something to weed out the robots. And my you told your I heard on the way in that you know my boss.
Yeah, we're friends.
Great.
Friends for a long time.
That's great.
For my entire life. I'm only 14.
This is my. I need to know, is that canon or not?
Yes.
Okay. Like, I know we haven't started yet. I just need to know what road I'm going down.
Oh my god.
What road you're careening down?
This is my commissioner. I'm going to ask them to start the timer for us. If you would please.
Hi, friend.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon. 5 minutes starts now.
So how do you know the commissioner?
We're friends.
How did you meet?
I've known them my whole life. They're a family friend. Here, let me make myself look more youthful. So.
Sure. And
Side pony.
how do you usually make friends?
I just say hi to people. We're friends now. Hi, Ren.
I'm gonna, at the risk of sounding redundant, let's not go that far.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. And what do you like to do with your friends?
I like to spend time with them.
What would you do if you were at an amusement park? What would you do first?
I would carry their stuff because I'm a supportive friend.
What is the first thing you would do and you could only do at an amusement park?
I guess figure out which ride has the shortest line
Okay.
and then get in that line.
What kind of rides do you like?
I like the soft, gentle rides.
What would you do if your friends insisted that you go on a really big roller coaster?
Well, my friends wouldn't do that because they love and respect me.
But let's say they didn't. What would you
But
do?
nobody doesn't love and respect me. I'm Ren.
Sure. I'm going to ask you to go through a thought exercise with me.
Okay.
What if you weren't Ren? What if you're doing a school play that takes place at an amusement park, and you have to go on you're being peer pressured to go on a scary ride?
Well, my first step would be to figure out how big the seats are at that amusement park. And my second step would be to wear clothes that make me too big for the rides. That's what I would do.
That's what you would do. Okay.
Yes.
So say it doesn't work and you're on the ride. What is that experience like for you?
If it's one of those fast ones that goes and jerks a lot, I would just close my eyes the entire time. And then, second step, probably scream. Kind of like, ah!
What?
Like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to ask you to not do that again. The commissioner probably heard you. What's your age again?
14.
14. Sure. Okay. That seems really young to be friends with a commissioner.
Well, family
The
friends.
commissioner's 80.
Family friends.
3
They're
Sure.
people that are friends with your family.
Sure. So when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
Open my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I almost fell for that. That was a Facebook riddle once. And then the second thing I do is stretch real big.
That's very interesting.
Yep. That's
What,
really mean.
What's mean?
Because that's just aggressive. I'm friends with the commissioner.
Sure. What is the first thing you did when you met the commissioner? What's the first activity you guys did together?
Well, I was a baby, so I probably cried,
And then what?
and then I probably pooped.
Okay.
That makes the most sense.
Sure. unlike this conversation.
Sorry.
Sure. What grade are you in school?
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade. And what classes do you have?
Math, science, social studies,
2
Sure.
minutes remain.
art.
What's like the order? What do you have?
My
like,
first
in the morning?
class is PE. I usually skip it. Oh no. Why would you do that? That's really
That's for
mean.
you.
What makes you think
Make
I'm
sure
a
you sign and
robot?
date.
Oh, to sign and date it.
Oh yeah.
That's important.
Really important.
Yeah, it's not legally binding.
So what am I check? Possible infiltration is my.
Oh no, just
no,
right
just-
under the stamp.
Okay.
Da, 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 yeah. Now you know the date because
Yep.
I sang the song for it. But this is mean.
It's the 21st of September.
Is it the 20th or 21st today?
21st.
It's the 21st.
Because my birthday's tomorrow.
Yay, happy almost
Hey,
birthday.
happy birthday.
We've already talked about this. I know you guys heard.
Is it
didn't
the
hear it.
equinox today?
Tomorrow.
I can't believe it.
It's
Okay.
the first day of fall.
So you're dragged off. What happens?
I cry a lot.
Uh-huh.
The commissioner is probably upset. Is
Uh-huh.
the commissioner upset?
I think it
Yes.
depends on the results.
Okay. Well, I was a very patient robot.
I know. I was just like, if she says first one more time.
Any
You
problem
kept
you
being like,
solve,
first thing I do.
you must solve in
The
2
second
steps or
thing.
less.
In my
Yeah, I can't
defense,
handle
have you
it.
ever?
You literally said end the second step.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, okay. Have you ever read like a middle schooler's paper? Their transitions are first.
Look, that was an
second.
acting choice that you made.
That was I know. Yeah, no. It was just the right amount of obnoxious though. That felt nice.
Did the chat think that Courtney was a robot?
Well, it wasn't blind.
Oh, it wasn't blind? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes.
So to answer your question, yes. You guys, I won. I can leave now.
I'm free
We
now.
got some happy early birthdays for you from in the
Aw,
chat.
thank you. My 33rd.
That's so good. The digits are the same.
I know.
Nice.
22nd,
I'm 33rd.
33rd.
It's like
Robot.
mystical numbers now.
Too bad you weren't born in an 11.
Mm.
1, 2,
Okay.
Cool. Bye.
Jim wants me there.
No, I want to go
Alright.
there.
Oh, you want to go there?
I want to go there.
Oh,
okay.
process some grief.
Oh.
That's what we do.
I don't
I'm not doing that again.
Get spicy.
You
You were like,
sure?
this was easy.
This is super easy.
I think once I realized to like not look at my question cards, it was a
It's
lot
way
easier.
easier.
Like
Okay.
it's really like because Corey told me from a designer standpoint, right? Those are questions that are designed to match the flaw that the robot has.
Yes.
So like as long as you're in the vein of the questions, like it's there to help you.
Yes. These are here to help you.
Yeah, I think I got overwhelmed the first time.
Yeah, totally. It's neither one of them is easy the first
Yeah.
time.
All right. All right, Jim,
Yes.
you ready?
I want
Ready?
to
Ready?
Grief.
Penalty.
We've all seen that Tumblr meme, right?
Penalty
Like,
first.
walk to walk in the dentist office, and then first
All right. Okay. Let's see. What's gonna happen now? What bad thing are we gonna do now? I'm gonna get rid of say 2 consecutive rhyming words because I've been dunked on with that enough. And Jim, your options are say your last name or say 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letter.
Say my name. Say my name.
Can we ask the live stream which they prefer? Say 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letter, or say your last name. Which penalty they prefer?
We'll have to wait a minute because
They're on a delay.
they're on a delay.
They're on a delay.
Delay. Oh, while we wait.
Grief.
Okay. Yeah, same 3 letter.
All right.
So what exactly is that? Say 3.
Say 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letter.
Okay. Grief.
Oh, they want to do a blind round.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Blind round. Grief.
No eyes. No eyes. That's what we should call it. 'Cause that's more fun than chant. No eyes.
Let's see, can I?
But do you want me to not see?
Well, I'm gonna
I,
see.
I almost want some opinion on it. No, it's
Oh.
fine.
Well,
it's
you
fine.
want-
what I was
you
going to
want?
suggest before you choose moving the cup closer to the microphone so that you cannot see it in case you need to look at it, so you're not like taking surreptitious glances at it and giving yourself away.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think that might have screwed me over.
Yeah,
That's the reason I lost.
It happens when your boobs are too big.
What's that?
He's a little busty.
He
Oh,
had an
busty.
open bust button on his shirt. It happens when your boobs are too
Yeah.
big.
Okay. I have my
He
card.
was trying to be extra spicy.
All right, you have your card. Great.
The audience cannot see that,
Okay.
and we will choose this now.
Yes.
Okay. There's 2 here. Awesome.
Antique hunter.
That is the personality.
You're like Andy Cap right now, Corey.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in today. Hello?
Hi,
Okay, great, you're here. Could you please state your name for the record?
Jason Jasonson.
We've had a lot of people whose first names match their last names coming through the department today.
I'm wondering if that's why they brought us in here.
Yeah, it might also be your voice, Jason. You've got a pretty fucked up voice.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
It just seems rude.
Yes, that's my job. All right, Jason, could you please say 3 consecutive words beginning with the same letter?
Jason Jasonson jumps.
Okay, do it again, but not that way.
Jack just jazzes.
Okay, very bad. And could you please do it again with the letter Q?
Queens, queers, quiet time.
That sounds like a great day.
Right?
Oh my God,
it
yeah.
does.
That sounds really good.
That
That
does
sounds
sound
like my
nice.
typical weekend.
That
Yeah,
sounds
then you get to decompress at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's my
like a
plan for
good night at
tomorrow.
Hamburger
All right,
Johnny's.
that's enough. That's enough. Okay, the penalty has been calibrated, and it says here you are an antique hunter. Is that correct?
That's right.
Does that mean that you hunt for antiques, or that you are a very old person who hunts?
No, I hunt for antiques,
Oh, okay.
but I do consider old people to be antiques.
So you do hunt? Do you hunt old people?
But like with my photography, like not with like any violent way. Just I
Okay,
like to
well,
capture
I'll be the
images.
judge of that.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Could you please go ahead and start the device?
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This will all be over soon.
That's terrifying.
5 minutes starts now.
I noticed on your way in here that you're missing a leg.
That's right. My right.
Mm-hmm. How'd you lose that leg?
I was out, Alabama, trying to find an antique salt shaker set. It's the only time that'll happen, I promise.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good.
And I stepped
but I'm just
into-
gonna go ahead and move
Yes.
this over here.
I would too, if I were you. I stepped into a bear trap, and I was unfortunate enough not to get out in time. It was an antique bear trap.
Were you hunting for the bear trap?
No, I was hunting for an antique couple of items that go on your table that you put spices in.
How did it feel to lose that leg?
Sad. I was upset. I was in incredible pain. There was blood loss, so I was a
4
little bit
minutes
dizzy.
remain.
I'm not talking about the physical sensations. When you woke up in the hospital, presumably, you did go to a hospital.
I did, and I was very fortunate.
Yes. So when you woke up in the hospital and you saw that you no longer had your right leg, walk me through the various stages.
That's not funny.
No, it's not.
I felt terrible. It was like the worst thing that had ever happened to me. It was like I had this antique chair that I had hunted for maybe 14 years. And my grandson, he took to it with an axe. It felt like that.
But worse?
It was about the same. It was a really nice chair.
Interesting.
3
Okay.
minutes remain.
Would you have rather lost your grandson instead of the chair?
No. No. That's horrible.
This event you're talking about, where your grandson
Destroyed my favorite chair with an axe?
Yes.
Sure.
How do you think he felt while he was doing that?
Gleeful. He was smiling and laughing.
What did you do when you found out?
Well, I chased after him, but he had an axe, so he quickly chased after me.
Okay. Any long-term repercussions for either of you as a result of that?
Well, eventually I stepped into a bear trap, but I don't know those two are connected.
It's very hard to take you seriously because of your ridiculous voice.
I don't know why. People keep saying that to me. I consider it an asset. In negotiations.
Minutes remain.
So what did you learn from having your favorite chair destroyed?
Not to trust my grandson with axes.
What steps did you take to prevent him from getting his hands on axes in the future?
I did not give him an axe the next Christmas. That was an antique axe. I figured I'd get him interested in the hobby.
So you gave him an axe.
The original axe that he used to destroy my favorite chair. I gave him no further axes after learning of my mistake.
Feels like it only takes one.
I would hope. Got any sense to you at all?
Got any diseases?
That's a personal question.
Yes.
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Not unless you consider having bad genes a disease. My grandson, I mean, he's...
Do you have any debts?
No, not right now.
Do you have any familial obligations?
Well, sure. I take care of my grandson.
Would you say that you are happy to have that obligation?
Not as happy as I was before he destroyed my chair.
Okay. So when you found out that you were going to be stuck with this little rascal until he
Very
reached the age
generous
of
way of putting
majority,
it. Sure.
how did you feel?
If I can speak candidly with you, as seriously as I can, it felt like a great weight. I've never had more responsibility for anything in my life.
How would you feel if he were to die? Given that he's a bastard.
Enormously upset. There was a time right after he destroyed the chair where I'm sure I would have at least smiled for a moment. But no, it's a pretty terrible thing, given time.
10,
Grown to like him
9,
again.
8,
Without axes.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
2, 1.
Investigator, please make your final determination.
Why did you have your hat pulled down over your eyes at the start of this?
I'm asking the questions here.
Sure.
Someone told me it was a blind game, so.
Why?
So, why did you say numbers right at the end there?
Don't like it when it's too quiet. So I just figured I'd count down. You got a weird machine over there, counting down numbers. Figured I'd do the same. Now, I noticed you got some people recording us here. I want to know what they think, too, before I step out of here.
Okay, yeah.
But until we hear from them, could we just chant grief? Grief, 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 grief.
You're keeping the voice going, and it's really unsettling.
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 humans and 3 robot guesses.
Okay.
For a while.
You were.
A human!
I was really not sure. I was really not sure.
I forgot that I could see your card when you said salt shaker set, and I was like, oh, too early, bro. Like, way too early.
I said,
You said that. You said that, and then you immediately got quiet, and I was like, for those of you at home, that is how to play off doing the penalty. Because like he 100% got me back on his side with that. He did it, and then he stopped, and he's like, "Oh fuck!
Shit.
Look at this mistake that I've made."
It was terrible.
Oh my god! Yeah, because for the rest of the round, I was just like staring at you, like, Say 2 words that have the same letter. Just say 2 consecutive words starting with the same letter. I dare you. I double dare you.
Oh, I stopped thinking about it after that. Like, I think it was just having calibrated, just kind of in that mind.
Salt shaker set. Wow.
Yeah. But
If you were a robot, you could have gotten away with another one, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it.
that's
Like
that's why you were watching me so intently at the last question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
saying that you also did the penalty when you said an antique axe.
Oh God! Maybe you really were a robot.
I mean, my card said
That would
human.
explain the
Robot
voice.
sympathizer.
Maybe below the organs, they're
Yeah.
machine parts.
He's got a pacemaker.
Do you guys experiment at all with someone who wants you to think they're a robot?
The
I
problem
mean, it
is,
seems like it's too many levels.
yeah,
but-
like someone wanting you to think they're a robot kind of screws up the meta for everything
Oh,
else.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I am kind of interested in the idea of like, how many penalties can you get away with as a human and still survive?
2 apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. We both missed that
Alright.
second one.
Yeah.
Lessons back,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's 7:54.
Huh?
It's 7:54.
Oh, it's 7:54. All right. Wait, no, it's 7:45. My computer just has
I
a bad.
hate your computer.
Well,
God
I think we've got.
darn it.
Do you want to play that?
Sure.
You can go to the bathroom.
Alright.
I wanna.
Corey's
It's
computer.
not gonna be like 10. Okay.
Yeah, I wanna be investigated. Or are you getting investigated?
Yes.
Okay.
But you know, it's your game.
No. I can play it whenever I want.
All right.
Who?
Do you want to investigate?
Oh, I get to ask Steve a question.
Do it.
Yeah.
Can I
All
wear your
right.
Pokemon hat?
All right.
No.
No, I was just kidding.
You have another hat you need to wear.
Would you like your Pokemon hat?
Sure.
It is very.
I'm sure it makes me look very human. Thank you.
Heart was really racing at the end.
Ugh.
I was like, why did he do that?
An antique axe.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah.
But you all chat at home.
Am I
Got
allowed-
notebooks too.
Are we allowed to look through these? Are we allowed to look through these?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I can't keep up.
Awesome. 1 success is a suspect, 1 failure is a suspect.
Ooh,
2
she's got
successes
notes.
As an investigator. I'm pretty happy with that. So far.
Oh, these are all turned around.
You've been human both times
Yeah,
too.
that's
I know. And I had 2 human cards and 1.
Actually, when I was sitting there, I turned them all the right way.
And the patient robot card would have been so much fun, but I really wanted to just play a bigger character.
What was the patient robot?
You can only talk about positive consequences, and you have to take credit for them.
Yeah, I was worried that you might have that one for a little
What's
bit,
speaking
and so
to
I was
you?
like, yeah, just
I don't
real
know.
bad things.
I think
Let's
we've
talk
done a
about real
lot.
bad.
But that I remembered it was
Green and
Yeah.
and that was
red.
But I think Tasha.
So I
had,
guess blue or
had played
purple.
that successfully in the past.
Okay.
I think I wasn't feeling purple. If you're asking me what I feel.
Okay. We might go blue. We'll see what the cards say
All right.
first. The
Penalty.
cards will tell your past, your present, and your future as well. Just take.
What do you throw away?
I am throwing away interrupting me.
Ooh.
That just
Oh,
makes me
dear.
nervous.
These are both very hard. That was probably the easiest one.
Yo. Take a trip into the future.
Jason.
I really want to rewatch Princess and the Frog now.
And where does
It's a good
that
movie. Dr. Facilier.
Well, so it's
great
public, so
villain.
there's no reason for me to hold them up to my face.
True.
Chat, the choices are clap audibly and hum 3 notes.
Oh, those are both tough.
Those are both really hard. So I have a rules question. For hum 3 notes, I don't know my role yet. Is that, do they have to be sequential?
No.
Or is it just hum 3 notes at any point?
That's like one action.
I got it. So I couldn't I can't hum a note in 3 different questions and count that.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm gonna choose clap audibly.
Could you get away with being like, like think about it, or no?
I'd accept that, but not the I.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like words I think would not count, but like
Yeah.
3 noises, yes.
That works. I was just curious.
All right. So what color are we doing, friend?
Oh yeah. We're gonna do blue.
All right, sure.
Awesome.
Cause you said you weren't feeling the perp.
I was maybe more looking at her, but
Oh what?
that's all right. We've chosen. The choice has been made.
The choice is yours.
The choices are yours and yours alone.
This is the second time we've referenced that show.
Really?
Yeah.
It was,
because we were personally.
wait, story time. Before I have to assume a role.
Wait, were you on that show?
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
not that good a
I got
story.
really
I'm
excited.
already sorry. By the way, if you ever want to follow down a rabbit hole, chat, this is for you too. That Wikipedia page is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because it's like the one time somebody jumped out of the set and was disqualified. Like it's like all really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But for Halloween one year in college, me and my friend were like, we have this great idea. Let's be the Blue Barracudas. So we got like mouse guards and spray painted helmets and like knee pads and did the whole thing. And so of course we walk into a party and there's like 3 other teams, right? So I took my helmet off, threw it on the ground and said, we'll see who goes to space camp.
That's amazing. Oh,
So good.
Because that was always the prize.
Yeah.
Space camp.
yeah, and like your consolation prize was these shoes.
British Knights. It was always BK shoes.
Oh, they
Or
were
like,
great. It was great.
or legitimately like a computer.
Yeah.
And then you watch Figure It Out, and they're all like, you get this prop from Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the or
The
from
global
Guts.
guts, yeah.
Like, what's the fucking or? Nobody wants that.
I would want that.
I was mad because I'm not an aquatic person.
Space camp is really expensive. I just remember being mad that I couldn't go to space camp, and
Yeah.
I was like, why not? And then as an adult, I'm like, oh, it's because we were poor. But when I was a child, I was like, this is because of hatred. Like, there's no good reason for this.
2 things can be true.
Because children are ridiculous.
I
Temple
couldn't go to
Guardians
space
are
camp because I had asthma.
Specifically,
I also had a-
you know, a good friend of mine, she doesn't work there anymore, but she worked at Adler as the membership manager, and they were like, hey, we want to like do a perk for your members that like for a space camp thing, and she was like, fine, but I get to go. So she just got to go to space camp for free.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, do any of you guys have improv experience?
0.
No.
Only Jim. Only Jim.
Only,
Yeah.
Thank you,
like,
friend. I would not have remembered.
only in my life telling jokes more or less.
I'm just sad all the time and pretend not to be.
Not me!
That is terrifying.
You're not trapped in here with us. We're trapped in here with you.
That's truly terrifying. Okay.
My choices are Maker of False Animals, which is incredible.
I really
but,
like it.
But Imprisoned for Life just has some really good political
All right,
connotations
Imprisoned
that I'm
for
going
Life.
for.
Ooh, I'm gonna avoid all of those.
Oh my god, lol.
I'm just saying, you're interrogating me while I'm already imprisoned for life.
I
So
mean,
which set is this?
This is Imagination, I think?
Okay.
yeah.
Imagination Station.
This is my imagination.
It's dragon mode.
It's my wings as well. This side. Get my hordes. Cool. Hello, friend of
I'm thinking
Rumi.
the name.
So, I understand that you've been imprisoned for life, but if things go well here, there's a possibility that you could get out. But anyways, that's just an aside. What's your name again?
Oh, my name is Wishbone.
Okay.
Can I go on like a small tangent about that show? Just like really quick.
Please do.
Okay, I'm really disappointed in that show, and the reason I'm disappointed is because they ended it on a to be continued.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Which, like, I remember because I'm still mad about it. They literally ended the entire show. They're like, to be continued. And I was like, oh, I hope this gets
Was this
continued.
sort of like Gambit to
and
get
then
renewed?
it
Like,
didn't
yeah, right?
ever get continued. Ever. I hate that dog. I hate that show. They broke my heart and ruined my life.
Maya, you need to write the ending.
I honestly do. But yeah, so fuck Wishbone for never continuing after they said they were going to.
Blame his humans.
Alright, continue
He did
this
his
game.
best.
Blame
I'm
the
sorry.
network.
So
Really
is
irritates
Wishbone a nickname?
It's a family name. It's my first name, though.
Okay, so you just go by Wishbone. Wishbone.
Oh, Wishbone. Oh, our surname is Starbird.
Wishbone Starbird. Okay. Do you have any relation to the Starburst family?
It's a dumb question.
No. I mean, they're all a part of the Kiwi group, but okay, never mind.
My name isn't Starburst or Kiwi.
You never know. Family lines, they branch, they fork. People have really bad cursive, and so you have to kind of guess what the letters are. That's whatever.
Genealogist?
I mean, I dabble. I've done the 23andMe or whatever. If we could just go through the formalities, if you could just clap audibly for me. Clap again. Freeze! And then clap your hands. Perfect. Awesome.
Do you have a bop it by any chance?
No, but we can still like twist it, pull it, whatever. I don't care.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, what?
All
Look, I
right.
got nothing but time.
So, just to double check your identity,
Yeah, you dragged me here from prison.
That's that's fair.
I don't know what else you want from me.
Were you like? Well, it says for life, and there's
Yep.
a chance that you could get out. Were you born in prison?
I was falsely accused of war crimes during the Robot War
How old were you?
at the time. That sounds like a question for the timer.
Oh, I was just curious.
How old was I? You
Yeah.
have it in your records.
Okay, well, it's hard to read these because cursive, it's all in here.
That seems like a question that should be on your application.
Yeah, I know,
For
it's fine.
investigator. Can
Yeah.
you read cursive?
It's fine. Okay, cool. You're a smart one. I like you. All right, let's get started.
Please remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the room. This
I'm
will all
imprisoned.
be
I
over
can't
soon.
leave.
5 minutes
It's a dumb thing to
starts
say.
now.
So you probably haven't gotten out much. Didn't see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with shapes? Yes. Because I'm gonna make some shapes with my mouth, and I want you to describe them. What shape is this?
A stupid shape.
Okay. Give me 5 other words to describe this shape.
Annoying.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Impermanent. Unlike my life sentence. Circular. Sphincter-like.
That's what a sphincter like.
I mean, your lips are a sphincter is all I'm trying to say here.
All right, cool. And then what about this shape?
Yep, that's goatsy with a tongue.
Cool. How would you describe this?
I would describe it as really very unnecessary.
What if I went
Yeah, that's noisy.
noisy? Noisy. Would you say any of these things were pleasant?
Not one of them.
What would you describe a pleasant
remaining.
shape? What's a pleasant shape?
A pleasant shape would be, mouth closed, pretty quiet, not making weird noises or asking dumb questions. Can I go back to jail?
No, we have 5 minutes. It's fine. It'll zip on by. We'll have a great time. If you could have any magical power, what would it be?
The ability to leave jail.
What would your second magic power be?
To never go back to jail.
What would your third one be?
To turn invisible if I was tempted to be brought back to jail.
And then, if you were invisible, how would you turn invisible? Would you just?
It would be inaudible. I would just, will my body to turn invisible.
Would you have to be naked?
Nope. Nope. Anything that's touching me that would turn invisible. Also, any non-living thing.
Okay. If you had to leave this planet and go to
Can
another
I?
planet, if you had to,
I would like to.
what is your ideal type of planet?
It's like Earth, except I'm not in
3
prison.
minutes remain.
Okay. Are there lots of people on this?
Yeah, I would say it's. How many people are on Earth? Let's just say
Enough.
like 3 billion. Let's just say,
Okay.
right? So it's 3 billion minus 1. Right now, I think that minus 1 would hopefully be you.
Well, if we were best friends
And we're not.
and we made a playlist,
Yeah,
what
sure.
would be 3 songs you would put on that playlist?
3 song, Freedom. War, what is it good for? And that one Christina Aguilera song where she goes, that one?
Does her mouth make this shape when she does that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen her perform.
Okay, that's fair. All right, now let's see. Can you describe the swankiest cell you've ever seen in your life? If you could outfit yourself
Okay, that's
to
yeah.
look
So it's
however
like,
it
I've only
wants.
seen the one.
Yeah.
It would have like 2 bedrooms, like a bathroom,
2
would look a lot like a house, like maybe with a kitchen and a door that I could.
Go in and
You
out.
see where I'm going with that?
Cool. How would you describe that using less than 5 words?
Less than 5 words. Not jail.
Cool. Awesome. All right. How would you describe this shape?
I wish it would go away.
For sure.
Still, no, same. It's upsetting.
Okay. My fingers are really wet. That's gross. Anyways. What are other ways that your fingers can get wet?
Oh my god.
Is that
Let's get creative.
sure? Ways my fingers could get wet: swimming in a pool that I don't have access to, drinking water unsupervised. Gosh, what else? It's like when you don't have a straw and you're making a cocktail and you just have to stir it. You stir it with your finger.
Have you
We
had
don't have booze in jail.
Okay, I was just wondering.
1 minute.
No toilet hooch?
No,
How would you make toilet hooch?
I guess you ferment fruit.
Okay. How would you describe the nastiest fruit? Just make it up.
I would use the word durian.
Okay. If it was a person, what would that fruit be like?
What's your name again?
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Describe to me
30 seconds.
a magical power that is slightly useless.
Slightly useless. I would choose the ability to make annoying noises a little bit louder.
What would your other abilities be?
My other abilities would be never having to listen to people I don't
10,
want to.
9,
Okay,
8,
that sounds okay.
7,
What's a
6,
question you wish
5,
I asked you?
4, 3,
Do you want to
2,
go?
1.
Okay.
Investigator, please make your final determination.
All right, my last question is, what's the shape?
Oh my god.
It looks like a mouth with two fingers pressing the lips together.
I was going for hourglass, like my figure, but okay. Cool.
Can I go now?
Sure, you're good to go. Wishbone Starbird.
Thanks. You guys, playing a human is easily the most fun option.
So much fun. It's so much fun.
You just get to get so spicy.
You just have to not clap. That's all you have to do.
What you were great.
He turns out in prison for life leaves you a lot of room. Yeah, just be mad about being in jail.
All right. Well, I think that is a good note to go out on. We're at 8:01. So thank you guys for watching us be idiots in front of you. Thank all of you for being idiots with me. Thank you, Maya, for being
The only non-idiot.
Yeah, the only non-idiot and technological commissioner. We'll be doing this again next Friday, same time, same channel. So you should come and watch it again. Goodbye. You're great. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
You gotta wave in multiple directions. It's the rule.
Did it go?